Hi guys and welcome back. So today I started my 24-hour study with me challenge at about 1:30 p.m. and straight away I just cracked on with some mechanics maths work. So here I basically just wrote up the content stated in the AQA textbook along with the examples, so then when we start the topic in lesson I can just crack on straight with the exercise rather than having to write up the examples first. I do this for maths in every single aspect of it, and I do find that it helps me, so then when they explain it in the lesson it's more like revision for me rather than actually learning it at the time, and I feel under less pressure during the lesson to have to understand it. I'm one of those people that finds maths very therapeutic, which is why I did take it. It's just quite a calming thing, so it's always the first thing that I'll choose to do. At the same time as doing all of this work, I will normally have some sort of music or program playing in the background. I won't really be watching it, but I'll just be listening to it because I absolutely cannot work in silence. So this would either be like Waterloo Road or some classical study music. So then I got my textbook out and both of my revision guides for biology, and I just went through the recent topics that we've been doing, adding in any missing pieces of information or extra facts that would help me in the exam. And I absolutely 1,000 times recommend doing this because something came up in my AS exam which had been mentioned in my CGP revision guide, which wasn't in my notes, and it very, very much helped me. I don't know what I would have done without having done that. So it's just like a triple check that every single piece of content is right. Not that I have any doubt in my teachers at all, they are brilliant. So then I regrouped and reevaluated the situation, so I wrote up my to-do list and what I needed to focus on. Then I got out a few blank pieces of paper, folded them and cut them up ready to make into flashcards, because I absolutely hate using proper bought flashcards for early exams, like early tests in the start and the middle of the year, because I only use the bought ones for things specifically that I wouldn't know I won't remember, whereas I might remember the things I'm learning now. So then after doing this, I went on to check flashcards and just had a bit of more relaxed time going over some biology definitions and things like that for an upcoming test. And I absolutely recommend check flashcards. I've used it since year 9 and it's so good. It's basically like Quizlet. And then at around 4:30, I focused on this mind map for an upcoming chemistry test. See, we have a lot of tests, and at this point, because I've been working for so long, I did get a headache, which is why I took my glasses off, and I look so annoyed in this clip. Yeah, like I said, I had a chemistry test coming up, which also involved equations, so I got out the equations booklet we'd been given to revise and made a mind map of all the equations that we need to learn by heart. And if you are thinking of taking A-level chemistry, please do not be put off by this, it is all manageable. I used my Statler 0.2mm fine liners to do this. They are my absolute favourite fine liners, and they are what I use in all of my mind maps, for those of you wondering. And it is coming up here, doesn't it look pretty? Nearly finished with it. And at this point I was absolutely starving, so I had to go down and make a burger, so something to eat. And this is a Rustler's burger, so it was literally in the microwave for 1 minute before it was ready to eat. So I'm very sorry for having to take that 1 minute off of studying to go and get something to eat. But I did go straight back to revising whilst I did this. Whilst eating my tea, I continued with my mind map, and here is the finished look. And you can see more over on my Studygram, which is Sky's Studying. My headache had gone by this point, which is why I was able to put my glasses back on, but I was actually very, very cold at this point, hence why I'd chosen to put my jumper on, and this was a very bad day to decide to do this challenge because it was freezing all day and night. And I am never in a good mood when I am cold. After getting over myself a bit, I got out a new piece of paper, which is A4 for those that always ask, and started making this mind map here using the Staedtler felt tip pens, which are the ones I always go for, with the dark blue and dark pink colours. And again, then I just folded up some other pieces of paper and cut them up to make into flashcards, ready to make into biology definitions to prepare for my test. So then here I just wrote up the definitions ready to use. And of course I recommend this. I think everyone recommends using flashcards, don't they? By this point it had gone dark, which tells you just how long I'd been there for in that one room, which sounds so infuriating now. So I had to turn the light on, and yes, I am aware that I was using that book upside down. I don't know why I do that, but I do, just for that particular book, not for everyone. I'm not that weird, okay? To refresh my memory for the AS chemistry content, which I have only just learned, and that is a very long story if you want to know why, I got out some past paper questions, and where I have loads of booklets from these from what my teacher gave me, and just went through the old content, filling in as many questions as I possibly could to get into that exam style. And this was the state of the office by the time I had finished. So then I took my pop-up desk and moved over into my bedroom just to be in a bit more of a relaxed environment, and obviously it was quite late at this point, so it's not nice to stay in the office all night long, really, is it? And to prepare for the night ahead, I had to get 3 hot water bottles because it was, as I said, absolutely freezing on this day, which is absolutely horrible. But got to do what you got to do. And then I just put some Studygram quickly on my nose because it did look like I was about to break out, and that is probably from the stress of doing this challenge. Not gonna lie. As I said, I was just using these past paper questions to answer as many as I possibly could, just to quickly refresh my memory. The ones that have been crossed out are ones from the old spec, because my teacher is an absolute gem like that and doesn't make me waste my time. So I just went over this for quite a long time because I'm still not confident with the AS content at all, as again I said, because of that very, very long story. And I think to use this, I was also using the laptop desk, which I've spoken about in another video. So I was able to lie down a bit, give my back a bit of a rest from sitting up all day, which I highly recommend. So then it was nearly 10 to 4 in the morning, and again I just gave up on this for a bit. I was absolutely so tired of it, and went back to my biology definitions on check flashcards, going through as many as I possibly could, and I promise I did do more than I have shown here. And then somebody in my family woke up. If I was caught up at this time, then I would figuratively no longer be alive. So I had to quickly turn my light out and continue working by torchlight, which is always fun, always good for your eyesight. Of course, I'm being sarcastic. So at this time, it was a bit more acceptable. I did have to put another jumper on though because it was absolutely freezing. So I comfortably put my lamp back on and started working on some more maths questions. I went through an entire core topic through writing up the content, writing up the examples, and then answering all of the questions on that exercise. And I was very, very proud of myself for doing this. It did take me about 4 to 5 hours though, but then like I said, that's 4 to 5 hours less I would have to do at another time, which might be less convenient. Still going through some maths questions with my hot water bottle and using my whiteboard, which I always recommend because I absolutely hate feeling like I'm wasting lots and lots of paper. So I will just always use this mini whiteboard or one of my larger whiteboards to answer as many maths questions as possible. Like I said, I would have just been watching something like Waterloo Road, and this would have been the current state of affairs in my bedroom. So this was the current time, and I just decided to keep continuing on with this maths questions for a while longer, just because I really wanted to finish it before starting something new, so my head could be kept clear and focused. After finishing all of this work, I took a long, hard look at myself and realised how flipping tired I actually was. It's just absolutely ridiculous, but, had to continue. So I got changed and kept this jumper on for warmth, put some jeans on, tied my hair up, went downstairs, made a cup of tea and got a few biscuits, took my revision downstairs and just kept cracking on. And actually, I didn't feel too bad about it at all. I didn't feel as bad as I expected myself to feel. So here was all the revision, and I wanted to start my infrared spectroscopy mind map, but then I think I went on to carry on with chemistry post-it notes, just because I really wanted to get them finished as well. I thought, might as well. As always, I was using my Staedtler 0.2mm fine liners, as well as this post-it note pack from the official pack, which has the 3 combined ones in that you get for about £12 from Ryman's, as seen in my stationery haul. I absolutely cannot stand having my hair up for too long. It gives me a headache, which is why I had to take my hair down here, and I really hope I'm not the only one that feels like that. But then it was in my way, so it was also slightly annoying, and it's just like, ugh. And then it was lunchtime and my mum had brought me a tuna and sweet corn sandwich from Tesco, which are my absolute favourite sandwiches and the only ones that I will eat. So I continued working on my chemistry post-it notes whilst eating my sandwich, as seen here. And if you want to know why I make these post-it notes, then I made a whole video on that, so you can go and check that out. Thank you. And eventually I went back up into the office just to finish off my chemistry post-it notes and to get into a different environment, so to keep my brain a bit more active and less frustrated, if you know what I mean. And finally I finished my challenge and went and took a nap, as you may have expected. So guys, that is the end of the 24-hour study with me challenge. It's the first study with me that I have done, so I very much hope it helped you or you enjoyed it. And I can definitely say that I was very tired after it. I did experience quite a few headaches and blips, so yeah, I obviously don't advise staying awake for 24 hours. You're not supposed to, it's not good for your body clock. But it was an interesting experience, and during year 11 I definitely had to do quite a few of those just to keep on top of my work. So the workload was so intense in year 11, it's ridiculous. But yeah, so sleep is definitely your friend, but it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. Maybe that's because I've done quite a few before though, I just haven't filmed it. I also just want to clarify that obviously I started at 1:30ish one day, and I went all the way through until about 4:30 the next day, so there's an additional 3 hours, so it's like actually like 27 hours because I needed to compensate for the time that I had to spend going to the toilet and like not eating food, because I ate my food whilst doing my revision, but getting the food and getting changed and everything like that, because it wasn't possible to not do those things. I had to go to the toilet. So yeah, that's why I went for 3 hours longer. Just like I probably only should have done like half an hour longer, but I did 3 hours just to please you guys. So if you enjoyed it, then please let me know, and yeah, bye.